We got another freaking ridiculous trend called a bore-out. And this is like burnout, but from boredom. Now, for years, I've taught on 5 causes of burnout, and one of the causes is boredom. It'll burn you out because you have no juice because you don't have any sense of meaning in the work you're doing. Then you start to wonder if you have any meaning. And we humans need challenge. We just do. We need the adventure that comes with challenge. And so when you're bored out of your skull, you can eventually burn out just because you lose, essentially, the juice. Well, now there's a new trend, and this is the word bore out. It is a phenomenon defining chronic boredom. The work is pointless. This is from Peggy Klaus, a communications expert with Klaus & Associates. The result of bore out, she said, is employee stress, lethargy, low creativity and productivity, and an increase in physical and mental health problems. And that leads to high turnover and early retirement. Now, I was just getting ready to get irritated when I was reviewing this, guys. And she said what I was thinking. She said, I see bore out and quiet quitting is the same thing. To the degree that employee refuses to do any work outside of the job description, engage in meetings unless directly addressed, or respond to anything unless pressured, this is the bore out and the quiet quitting. Now the demographic, now this is interesting. The demographic in the workplace that most identifies with this concept is males range 18 to 35. And because of the bore out, they're less encumbered by family responsibilities and they're willing to change. And so they'll just move on because they don't really have anything to risk. It's just them. And it's interesting that they spent the least amount of time in an organization. So I think what happens is these 18 and 35-year-old men, you think about it, they've grown up on video games, overstimulation. Men, I think probably more so than women, are a little bit flightier because we got to have that challenge. You know, you don't see a lot of women doing stupid stuff on the internet. Isn't that funny? You don't see that a lot, right? You don't see a lot of women going, hey, hold my beer, I'm going to jump off a cliff. It's dudes. I mean, if you look at the great proportion of stupid videos, like humans doing stupid things, it's a high percentage of males. And come on, guys, it's the truth. And you're looking for adventure, you know? And so I can do that. I think I'll try that. Don't try this at home. And the average male goes, I'll try it. Don't tell me what I can't try at home. And so this is very interesting. Now, I bring this up to say that being engaged in work and doing work you love is absolutely the aim of this show. I want to help you do it. But guys, there is a sense of maturity here where sometimes we have to do that boring thing so that we get the opportunity to do the exciting thing. That's a key distinction. I mean, look, there are parts of my day that are boring, but I got to do it so that I can do this exciting stuff. And so that's the idea that we've got to take away. So understand that. Now, switching to another story here in the news. Headline, most people have an unhealthy relationship with their work. HP Inc. announced in a groundbreaking study that employees' relationship with work around the globe stinks. Duh, we didn't need to spend the money. I could have told you. 15,000 plus respondents across 12 countries in multiple industries were the source of the study. And there is now a false choice between productivity and happiness. And a lot of people feel like, all right, if I'm going to do a good job or have a good job, I can't be happy. I just got to be productive so I keep getting the paycheck. And I think this study is right. Just 27% of knowledge workers say they have a healthy relationship with work. Now, the reason that distinction is interesting because I think a lot of people incorrectly assume that if you are not in a white-collar knowledge worker role, like say you're working with your hands, that you're automatically unhappy. And I think that's garbage. The data doesn't show up here. But again, knowledge workers, you know, they're not doing hard, manual, risky labor. And so that's why this is called out. Just 27% have a healthy relationship with work. Why? My take on this is is they're tethered to technology. I mean, if you work as a carpenter, a bricklayer, an electrician, HVAC repair, you pick it. And you may work some crazy hours, but once you're done, you leave it. You're not on site, and you leave it. The knowledge-based workers is we're always tethered to technology of the email, of the text, of the whatever the inter-office chat system is. And so you're never really removed from it unless you decide to put your phone up or your computer and stop looking at it. And we all have got these habits where we just feel like, well, another email. I got to answer this email. It's awful. This from Lori Gottlieb, a psychotherapist who helped with the study. This is a quote. The most successful companies are built on cultures that enable employees to excel in their careers while thriving outside of work. Yes, but I think she misses a key point. We need to make sure that people are thriving at work. Leaders need to make sure that people are in the right seat of the bus. And if they're not in the right seat, they're in a seat that would get them to the right seat. And the person knows that. And so they've got their eye on the prize, and that they're given the tools to do the job that they're in, and that they are valued in the office. If we could do that as leaders, people would be thriving in the office, in the work, which gives them a better chance of thriving outside of the office. If they're unhappy at work and they're not thriving, guess what? They're sucking, they're dying, they're complaining, whatever. And they're dragging that into the rest of their life. So there's only so much a company and leadership can do on thriving outside of work. That's why I understand what she's saying. And it's not that I disagree with her. It's just, it's incomplete. We can and should focus first and foremost on helping people thrive at work and be valued while thriving. That is thriving. You can't be doing a good job, but feel like you're devalued and burned out and overworked and everything else. It doesn't work. Over half, 55%, of unhappy workers struggle with self-worth and mental health. 59% are too drained to pursue personal passions, and 62% struggle maintaining healthy routines. That's where companies can come in. And if as a manager and a leader, you know how your people are doing, and you see these numbers and you go, okay, we got to change your workload. Why are you struggling with self-worth? How are we playing into that? Boy, we need to come in and make sure you know you matter to us deeply. And then you're sitting there and you're going, hey, look, how can we help you be happy at work? If you can't do it, then help them move on and value them. But if you can, make it happen. Now, if you aren't in a place where you are happy, you can't just take it. I want you to try to talk to your leader first. HR, talk to them. Got to have a conversation. Don't complain. Just reveal and see what happens.